The other night, I was shooting the shit with my friends when somehow we got around to asking, who is the worst person in history? Was it Epstein with his sex trafficking empire? Or Kim Jong Un with his oppressive dictatorship? Or was it
The Dallas Cowboys.
So we did what any sensible, self-respecting historical scholars would do. We made a bracket.
Okay, so we have the orchestrator of the Holocaust versus the guy who made cereal.
Shout out Osama bin Laden, though.
Yeah, my man. It's a homophobic conservative guy with power versus a homophobic lesbian.
We're going band for band, genocide for genocide here. This is what the finals are all about.
Welcome to the ultimate IRL villain tournament.
And as you can tell, I'm joined by my friend Gummy64, and we
Good evening. I am a professional evil person, and I think I am very qualified to assist with this program.
Yeah, obviously, he is very knowledgeable about history in ways that I often am not. Let's just get right into it.
Applewhite is one of the few serial killers I know more about, and maybe that gives me a little bit bias here. But I think Applewhite. If you go by numbers, obviously Robespierre, but I think the brainwashing behind Applewhite, I think he might clear Robespierre.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking.
Just look at his eyes.
The death toll for the French Revolution, in a lot of ways, like, you can kind of justify what Robespierre did more than what Marshal Applewhite did. Like, Robespierre was fighting against an oppressive monarch.
Maybe.
So, we'll go with Applewhite, but I don't think it's, like, as, like, much of a sweep as you would be led to believe by...
Yeah.
Okay, Muammar Gaddafi versus Timur. Some background info on Gaddafi. He was like pseudo-socialist communist dictator in Africa who led a military government. I wouldn't say that he's socialist at all because he didn't have the interests of the people. He just wanted to take power and kill people who disagreed with him.
Yeah, and his downfall.
Downfall.
I think it shows exactly what kind of person he is. He's near the end of his reign. He started sucking up to his people out of fear of what might happen to him, both by his people's hands as well as the hands of America. Timur is I don't know if he's a descendant of Genghis Khan, but I do know he did rule part of the Khaganate that succeeded the Mongol Empire, or was part. I don't know if it was part of the Mongol Empire, but I think given the time, I think Gaddafi wins this one.
Yeah, I think
so too. He's a complete psychopath. Again, I don't know enough about Timur. He probably killed more people, honestly, actually. But again, I don't think numbers is the fully correct thing to go by.
Yeah,
so I think Gaddafi wins this.
There's going to be people in here who are just, like, literal monsters who might not have the death toll of some, like, despotic tyrants like Timur, but a lot of what we're going to be judging on isn't necessarily how many people you killed, because all of the people here, except for, like, Anthony Fauci, who's here for some reason, have killed a lot of people, directly or indirectly, but we're also kind of judging based on your character and your morals, and I think Gaddafi's morals were worse, whereas Timur's just like
I think what I was going at was Timur. I mean, it doesn't justify it, but Timur's time is a time defined by imperial rule all over Afro-Eurasia.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's Gaddafi as well.
Yeah.
Why the hell is Fauci here?
I don't know who this other guy is, but I don't even think we need to.
Yeah, Anthony Fauci did not cause a genocide by being pro-vaccine.
Yeah.
Purple is a really funny matchup because David Duke is like another serial killer.
He was a member of the House of Representatives in the Republican Party who was one of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. This is our first real big fork in the road, honestly.
Oh, for sure. This is hard. The thing with Ivan the Terrible is that, like, he wasn't always as bad as he ended up being. Like, he had a lot of, like, family trauma that led him to being, like, a madman, essentially, and he just happened to be on the throne. But, I mean, the Ku Klux Klan is really just, like, one of the worst organizations ever created. I might have to just go with the death toll and say Ivan the Terrible wins. But if we're going, like, psychologically, it's pretty even. It might be, like, a kind of weird out to say, like, Ivan the Terrible was not always a monster, so he gets a pass for what he did in early life. But, like, none of these people started out as monsters.
You see, look at the left painting of him, of Ivan the Terrible. You see remorse.
Maybe it is David Duke.
And maybe, yeah.
I think we'll go with David Duke, but it's really close. Oh my... Interesting about him, right? Because I didn't know much about him before researching for this video. He's another military dictator. I don't think he's making it past Gaddafi, though, because he was kind of like one of Gaddafi's cronies, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think Amin wins.
Amin, this one wins.
He's not going past the next 2 rounds, I think. Ted Bundy, for those of you who aren't aware, is just a serial killer. This guy's a military dictator. He killed more people, more of like a superiority complex, more fucked up in general.
No. Okay, I think Kim Jong Un wins this one.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un is like one of the favorites in this tournament, I think.
Yeah, no, maybe, but Julius Caesar, you have a kind of setting the stage of a military coup, what that means. Obviously, they existed before, but this is, I think, arguably one of the first really big ones. But with Kim Jong Un, there is systemic violence that you don't really see in Caesar's. He's not, I don't want to say empire, because he wasn't emperor.
Republic.
In his dictatorship. Yes.
He was technically part of the Roman Republic before it officially became the Roman Empire.
Yeah, I would argue.
Yeah, I think it's Kim Jong.
Yeah.
But Julius Caesar could have gone far if he got a different matchup, in like better circumstances. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, this is hard.
No, I don't think it's too hard. I think Mr. Tojo wins this one.
I mean, he was a Nazi, obviously, like Nazi Japan, essentially. He oversaw the rape of Nanking, which was like one of the single worst things to ever happen.
And I think of within World War II, at least within the scope of the battlefield, you can, when it comes to outside the battlefield, you can argue other things, but I think within the battlefield, the Japanese were the biggest monsters, and this is the man that you could say is behind that, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. He literally sent like young men who are like my age, like college age, to die crashing kamikaze planes. So like he wasn't even partial to his own people, he just wanted to fuck shit up. Dictator versus a serial killer.
I believe this one is from Nigeria. I don't know anything about either of these.
Let me see if I have notes on them, because I think I made a lot of notes on guys that I didn't know as well. Okay, so Warren Jeffs was the guy who formed like the fundamentalist Latter-day Saints, which is basically like the child sex trafficking cult. And Sani Abacha,
it looks like he's just another military coup guy.
Yeah, we have a lot of military coup guys on here. I might want to go Warren Jeffs, honestly, for this one.
I think so.
I think he's more fucked up in the head.
Because it looks like this is Al-Bacha's just another corrupt regime embezzling money and political assassinations, but that is formed out of paranoia and there's ego involved there. But I don't think that compares.
Yeah, to Warren Jeffs. I think congratulations, sex cult leader. You move on. Okay, so David Koresh is one of the serial killers of all time, for sure. I have
he?
notes on him. Basically, so he's this guy from Waco who was like, we are going to go attack the government and like kill ourselves so that we can bring about the rise of Jesus. He's another cult leader.
A doomsday cult, then.
Yeah, a doomsday cult. He he's a manipulator as well as a murderer, which I think gives him extra points. I don't know who this is, actually.
On the other hand, we have another cult leader who I am looking into.
Okay.
I think these are well, let's see.
They're almost the same people, so I think it might just come down to how many they killed.
Fredonia was like suspected of 4 mass murders and as well as 4 individual murders.
Okay, so it's probably
total victim count 1,186.
Okay, well, Koresh only killed a couple hundred people, so it's probably Credonia. Funny.
Okay. You could tell me what you know about Eric Harris. I know nothing about this guy. And then I will tell you what I know about Caligula.
Okay. Eric Harris is not a guy I know that much about. He is kind of a combination of like the serial killer cult leader archetype, I'll say. That's basically the extent of my knowledge on him. I've only heard of him once or twice, so I'll look more into him. You talk about Caligula while I do this. Caligula
was the Roman emperor who declared war on the ocean, on Poseidon. He was named after Little Shoes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he killed whoever gave him that nickname. I see this guy making it pretty far in this tournament.
Oh, for sure.
This guy is such a paranoid, egotistical bastard. He tried to appoint his horse to the consulate, I believe. You took Latin, right?
I did, well? I just don't remember.
And maybe you... Incitatus.
Incitatus. That's correct.
Incitatus.
That is the name of his
favorite horse of Roman Emperor Caligula. According to legend, Caligula planned to make the horse a consul, although ancient sources are clear that this did not occur. Okay, well, still...
All right, and Eric Harris is a school shooter. I looked further into it. He kind of had like a school shooting cult going on behind the scenes as well. But I think Caligula is more fucked up than Eric Harris was and killed more people. So I think we can go Caligula here.
I think so.
All right. Have much of a discussion here. We've ran into one of the other favorites of this tournament in Jeffrey Epstein.
You know, I would normally agree, but this is Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like it's a terrorist versus like the leader of the largest sex trafficking operation on the planet.
You know, okay, I didn't think we would be getting rid of Mr. ISIS in the very first round, but here we are. Move the other guy up ahead.
I'm sorry to the terrorist, but you do not get to survive. Okay, Larry Nassar, I think, was like a specifically like gay serial killer and rapist. That's
Saddam Hussein is all of the above as well, probably, plus a lot more.
So we go Saddam?
I think so. I do not think that he will be winning this tournament, but I think
he's gonna run into one of these two.
not even just for that. I think there's just someone else in his family who is worse than him, who is on this in this tournament, who beats him out. But we'll cross that bridge if we get there.
Ellen DeGeneres is here. Okay, so we have Fidel Castro, who was known for being like the Cuban revolutionary leader. He was behind the whole Cuban Missile Crisis scenario. He definitely made some mistakes in terms of like how the economy was ran, but he also had to deal with a blockade. I honestly don't know why he's here. To like, he's not
no,
as bad as a lot of these
I would
other
agree with you
guys.
if it was someone like Guevara, maybe, but this guy is not my favorite. I think you can see a lot of themes. Now, he's no H.H. Holmes, I'll tell you, so...
Isn't he like one of the worst serial killers to ever exist?
He was the torture doctor.
Oh,
he's like a real-life Hugo Strange.
Okay. Okay, so it's
so
yeah,
you
it's
can put
H.H.
him
Holmes.
forward.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a reason Che Guevara is not on this list. Like, Castro, the main, like, critique I have of him is, like, the draconian military policy, I think, is definitely, like, the worst part of what he did, and also, like, he was a Stalinist. Yeah. I don't like Stalin. We will be seeing Stalin later down the line. Okay.
Okay.
So we have corrupt Saudi Arabian dictator versus one of the worst Roman Republic leaders in history, one of the worst consuls.
He was the guy who ordered the death of Jesus, correct?
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. So he was the emperor. Okay.
No, he wasn't an emperor. He wasn't. He was the governor of Judea.
Oh yeah. No, I remember him now. Disregard what I said earlier.
That's I think that's a pretty big mistake he made there.
Yeah, I think this is Pontius Pilate. I know there's probably going to be some Christians watching. Even though I am not religious, I understand that, like, freedom of religion is a really important thing, and killing someone because they disagree with your religion is kind of the reason that a lot of these people are on this list, and he kind of gave rise to a lot of the other, like, ethno-state, like, religious persecutors here. So I think he deserves to move on, even though MBS is not a good guy.
I think these two are kind of, arguably, they're very similar people, in just in very different times.
Yeah. The thing with Pilate, there's, like, his sin, I think, was worse than MBS's. It had, like, such a ripple effect in history. Okay, so we have an assassin versus...
Just it's... like, we don't need... You can argue against Marx's ideology, but he himself, as far as my knowledge goes, never did anything himself.
Yeah, he was not really a criminal. The most you can say is that he was, like, kind of an insufferable, egotistical maniac.
Yeah, and
just like a little bit, but so was every single German in the 1870s who was a philosopher.
And although he initiates a movement which many believe is bad, I don't think the movement that occurred was exactly his vision.
Yeah, that's true.
So put Booth ahead.
Oh, for sure. I am very much a leftist, but I don't like Stalin at all. And the reason why is because in the Russian Revolution, what his role basically was he deposed Trotsky, who was supposed to be Lenin's successor, and Trotsky's vision was to expropriate the revolution to other countries like China, Germany, Poland, France.
Yes, the permanent revolution.
Yes.
Whereas Stalin he did it all for himself. He wanted to keep it within the motherland, Russia.
Yeah, the thing with Stalin is I think he's a little misunderstood in some ways. Like, in a lot of ways, he's more of just like a selfish idiot who kind of represented the ideology of a larger group of people. But he also, like, imprisoned and killed people who disagreed with him. Yeah. He's up against a North Korean leader, and Stalin's one redeeming quality.
Kim Il-sung is the man who initiated the current totalitarian dictatorship in North Korea. Yeah. But I think the Korean War and the Korean Civil War is much too complicated to say Kim Il-sung is definitively a worse man than Stalin.
I think we can just go off of, like, death toll and say Stalin here.
Even if we don't, I think Stalin is worse.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think, like, the one redeeming quality he had was that he fought the Nazis. That only just means
so did
he's
Kim
not
Il-sung,
gonna win. Yeah, that
Kim Il
all
Sung
that-
did a better job at that. At first Stalin aligned with the Nazis.
That's the
So-
thing. That's the thing. I don't think Stalin will necessarily win this tournament, but I could see him
No.
getting very far.
Yeah.
Okay, and by the way, we're doing this
Oh,
side of the bracket before
We're doing the
next
whole.
side.
Okay.
Okay, so Applewhite versus
Interesting.
Gaddafi, I don't think this is much of a conversation, honestly. Even though, like, Applewhite is one of the worst serial killers in history, this is, like, Muammar Gaddafi is, like, the architect.
He's not even a
behind
he's not even a serial killer. He's just a doomsday cult leader that led to the deaths of a lot of
Yeah,
of
the
quite a number of
suicide
people, but-
cult, the Heaven's Gate cult. But
Yeah.
Gaddafi is like the initiator of a bunch of these corrupt African regimes who were like
You are
military
correct.
coups. So I feel like Gaddafi wins pretty decisively.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. So now we never actually did much on Earl Bryan Bradley because he had the easiest round one matchup imaginable. So
Okay.
it's KKK guy against whoever the hell this is.
Ah.
Oh no, I remember this guy now. Frank, he was the like pediatrician sex pest.
Yeah. And did a lot of stuff with children.
Yeah, I think like this is like one of the offshoots of like Epstein in specifically the medical field. The fact that like this is what happens when you give someone too much power over the body of like another human being.
Yeah.
Especially one that like can't consent and can't do stuff.
I think if you're someone like David Duke, your beliefs are forged by your environment. That doesn't justify it, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think we can move him forward. Do you agree?
I think so too. Okay.
Oh gosh.
These are similar people, but I think the scale of what Kim Jong Un did is just greater than Idi Amin. Like, Idi Amin eventually got couped himself, but Kim Jong Un is still here. He's still kicking. He's still oppressing the lives of his citizens. He still inspires terror to the rest of the world. Yeah, I feel like this one is honestly not that close. Warren Jeffs isn't a good guy, as we explained in round one, but this is like the kamikaze pilot Nazi Japanese dictator.
Much more than that. He wasn't in charge of Japan. He was the big military guy.
Okay.
Later, I believe we'll be seeing Hirohito, who I don't think he was in charge of Japan during that time, and I don't think he will be making it very far when we're comparing him to guys like Tojo, who under his it was really guys like Tojo who made Japan the monstrosity it was in the 30s and 40s.
Oh, for sure. Now we have a cult leader up against the most insane man in Roman Empire history. I don't think this is as close as people would think. Caligula, even though he wasn't emperor for a very long time, he just killed a lot of people in that short time and was so unpopular, so mentally unstable, such like a blight on what it meant to be the ruler of a nation. I feel like it's him. I think this picture sums him up perfectly. I wouldn't be surprised if his head was cracked like that.
He was my Google profile picture for a little bit. Actually, like a lot of bit.
Really?
I needed to change it to something more professional, and so I thought, I'm a history guy, I'll change it to something nobody will know who this guy is. I'll just put him there.
I think we know.
Saddam Hussein.
What's the case for Hussein, I guess?
Saddam Hussein would tie corpses to the back of military trucks and drive them through the city to scare people.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, like, that's really bad.
But
Epstein would eat children.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. is there really much of a debate? He killed one
No,
guy.
stop. Yeah.
He killed a bunch of guys.
hmm
Okay.
Every time
Ugh.
this guy comes up, I forget who he is.
No, he
And
was
I think-
he is the doctor rapist guy who
Yeah.
took advantage of children, versus Gaddafi is the architect of a bunch of African military coups.
Yeah,
I think
which
that
in
we're
turn,
up- yeah.
I think in turn, Gaddafi, I think Gaddafi has probably done, though not confirmed, a lot of similar things to that manner to children.
Yeah. So it's
I think-
just
I
like
think-
the difference is Earl Brian Bradley never got the chance to be the leader of an African dictatorship.
Well, yeah, but I didn't
So-
either, so...
Oh no! This is this
No,
is
no, it's
honestly
Tojo.
hard.
It's Tojo.
Really? Kim
It's
Jong
Tojo.
Un not
It's
even
Tojo.
making it to the semifinals. What's your case? Because I guess like
War
Kim Jong Un
is the behind the scenes, I can guarantee you, Tojo is responsible for a lot of similar things that Kim Jong Un is, on top of all of the war crimes that lay on his lap.
Yeah.
Which I don't. Kim Jong Un, you can
not
argue.
really declares war very often.
You can argue Kim Jong Un hasn't had the chance to do that, and he would. But again, I haven't had the chance either, so that's why I'm not on this list.
Okay. Low key, these people have like similar psyches. It's just one of them lived longer and did more terrible things and was like more in the shadows.
Yeah, I think Jeff wins
Yeah,
this round.
Caligula had a good run though.
Yeah.
Now this, I think, is where it starts to get close, because, like, what exactly was happening, like, in the gulags? Because I think
Okay. Yeah.
it's
but at the
definitely-
same time,
that's the case for Stalin. We don't know.
at the
a
same
lot of what
time,
happened.
is Stalin directly responsible for what happens in the gulag? Surely I mean, ignorance is not great, obviously.
Yeah,
or
well,
not
he is a
ignorance. I'm sure he
useful
knew,
idiot.
but I would argue he's not directly responsible. So let's argue. Although Holmes isn't one of these people, he is very similar. So let's put this argument out. Who is worse, the guy who tells you to torture someone, or the guy who comes up with the torture method and does it and enjoys it?
Probably the guy who enjoys torturing people, if I had to guess.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you, my friend.
Like I said, I just have a very, very personal vendetta against Stalin. So I wanted to see him go far, but we can go H.H. Holmes. Betrayer
Yeah.
of the Revolution, your run is over. Oh, okay. I think Gaddafi's run might be over.
I agree.
Not as many war crimes, unfortunately,
Yeah.
or fortunately, depending on how you look at it. We have like
Oh, well,
we
I
have
forgot about
Hitler.
this guy.
We have Hitler and Epstein there too. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, I think he's gonna win this bracket, not the whole tournament, but
Okay,
I
this
forgot
side of the
about this guy.
bracket. Okay, Epstein
Oh.
versus Holmes. This is hard because
No, actually, I don't think it is too hard, because, with Holmes, you can argue it'd be a very poor structured argument, like built probably best by a 3-year-old. But
yeah.
you could argue there's medical advancement on the line. I mean, that's obviously an excuse. That's not the real reason. But Epstein does very similar things.
Just on a larger scale.
Yes, and to more kids. So I think he
Yeah.
wins in this round.
H.H. Holmes, Dark Horse. Your run is over. Oh my gosh! This is hard. The only thing I can think of is like Jeffrey Epstein wasn't necessarily doing war crimes. And maybe you could argue
here's
Tojo
the
was
thing.
doing the things Epstein did, but like we didn't hear about it. The thing is, I bet you could probably argue the same thing for Tojo. Like psychologically, whenever people get excessive amounts of power to the point where they can be above the law, they almost always do terrible things. So, like, you could say that there's a lot of people who, given the amount of power and connections Epstein had, would have been just as bad.
I'm sure, yes. So yeah, I'm sure. Again, it's like I don't know how much of it. Tojo, I am looking here, consented to the forced prostitution of women by the military. So we're looking at very similar things.
Oh yeah,
I think
the rape
Jeff's
of
is on a
Nanking, I
much
forgot about
larger
that.
scale, but I think Tojo mixed in with the war crimes and a bunch of other bullshit
Yeah,
moves him forward to the
yeah.
final.
When I was saying the thing about, like, we don't know about what Tojo did, I forgot about the rape of Nanking. You're right, he moved on. I thought Epstein might win this, I'm gonna be honest. So, Donald Trump, we kind of know who he is. He's just like an egotistical scumbag.
Okay, no,
who got
I
away
know
with
who
power.
Manson is.
I do too.
I've written a lot about this guy.
He's a really
he's an
weird
oddball.
guy. But
So do you know what his big idea was?
All I know is that he killed a bunch of people in Hollywood.
Yes,
And he
but
was like
I
a
mean, I don't even
musician.
know. I don't even know why. No, he killed Sharon Tate. I don't know why, but I can tell you his big idea, his big theory, his manifesto, sort of. He wrote or said in an interview or something along that line that he wanted a big race war. He believed that the whites needed to overthrow the African American, and here's how he said they were going to do that. What he was going to say, the whites are going to do a retreat, they're going to retreat, and the African Americans begin running society. In turn, the white will unify and bring about their own little doomsday by overthrowing the African American leadership. What are your thoughts on that, Max?
That's really bad. So when I was researching him, I thought this guy, in comparison to a lot of the other people on this list, hasn't done as much crime.
He
wouldn't go very far, but he is really fucked up.
He is completely oblivious. So there was one time where they were interviewing Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy made a sort of connection. He said, everybody I know I've met in jail, all the fucked up people I met, including myself, have one thing in common: we watch pornography. And so he creates a link there, where all of these fucked up people, a cause behind that could be pornography. They later interview Jeffrey Dahmer, who says, you can't make pornography the scapegoat. You are looking at, and for anyone who doesn't know, I don't think he's actually on this list. He might be, but Jeffrey Dahmer was the cannibal. He said, no, all of the stuff I did, that was me. You're looking at the very fucked up person who did those actions. You can't put anything, you can't make anything like pornography the scapegoat. And then they ask our friend Charles Manson and about his position on what Ted Bundy said on that connection, and he said, I've been watching pornography all my life and it hasn't changed me in any way.
I think you've told me this story before, but it never gets old. I'm glad the viewers get to hear it. The thing is, Donald Trump is like a war criminal and a
here's where we've got it. Manson is completely oblivious and insane. I don't think Trump is oblivious. I think he knows there's a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes, and I think he knows he's part of it.
So yeah, I think we go Trump, but Charles Manson is a character.
Right.
And
just never. Maybe if it showed a picture of Manson with the swastika tattooed on his forehead, maybe he would have gone forward.
Oh
maybe
no,
that
I knew he was a Nazi.
But,
I knew he was a Nazi.
The United States is owned by foreign corporations. Nixon opened it up for foreign trade. And when Nixon opened up for foreign trade, the people of Europe and the common market and Spain and different places, they don't care about the United States forest. And in short, the United States has been sold out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no. So I think even if you want to put forward the argument, the U.S. is behind 9/11, which I think if
I don't
you
think that's
believe in
true.
that, that's absurd.
I don't think
But
that's
even
true
if
for a
there's a
multitude
lot of other
reasons.
bullshit that is behind the Bush administration. With all of that, Bush was a puppet of many other figures like Dick Cheney. I don't think we can put all of the problems of the Bush administration on Bush's shoulders. We can't pin it all on him. I think
Oh, for
he
sure.
he is a very controllable man, and obviously that's not to say he's a good president at all, but
He's not.
if you compare someone like just controlled like him to Jack the Ripper, I think we can move Jack the Ripper forward.
Yeah, I think so too. The thing with like U.S. presidents in general is most of them are ultimately puppets to the interests of.
I would even put
the ultra
Trump in that category, but
yeah, he would. He would. I think like Jack the Ripper may end up
Trump,
beating Trump too.
Hitler. I think Mayo killed more people actually, but I don't really I don't really give a shit.
Well, the thing with Mao is people often attribute the famine to him, which I don't necessarily think is all his fault. A lot of it was due to the negligence of previous rulers, but he definitely made some mistakes.
No, I think
He's not Hitler,
I think you can put much of the famine on him, but I don't think that was the famine. Obviously, isn't his goal. You look at this other guy here.
He starved people on purpose.
Everything he did was his goal.
Yeah.
Every death was intended. He wins.
For sure. I'm not really going to argue.
I don't know either of these guys.
No, Carl Panzram, I think, was another gay serial killer. And Timothy McVeigh was an earlier guy we had. I think like his name was like Eric or something. I forget where he was. But Timothy McVeigh was another one of the architects of the school shooting cult that happened in like the 90s. But Carl Panzram was a serial killer who raped children, specifically young boys. But I would argue Carl Panzram just because I think rape is a worse crime than murder.
Okay. I think yeah.
Okay, I think Adam Lanza is another school shooter. And who the hell
Albert
is this
Fish
guy?
is a serial killer, cannibal, child molester, 3 child murders.
Alright, it's Albert Fish. So that we're not misinforming the public. He was the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooter. I was right.
Oh, jeez. Okay. No, I think Fish.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so Joseph Mengele is one of the Nazi commanders who was very famous for his brutal torture methods in the concentration camps. He was the main
He had a skull named after him.
And he was one of the main orchestrators of the Holocaust.
Yes.
Jim Jones was a serial killer, I'm pretty sure.
He was a cult leader. He did. I believe he was behind the largest mass suicide ever. He created like this sort of stupid little society, doomsday society, in somewhere like Guyana, and he called it like something dumb like Jones Land, and it led to the death, the suicide of about 1,000 people, I believe.
Okay, well, I don't think that compares to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
John
Heinrich
Harvey
Himmler
Kellogg.
is the... Okay, so we have the orchestrator of the Holocaust versus the guy
eugenics.
who made cereal.
No, okay, so here's the thing. Kellogg did in fact make cereal, but he is also widely considered the father of eugenics. He at his core was a very racist man, and like a Zionist. He was one of the biggest supporters of like past Israeli genocides. The Israel-Palestine conflict is not a one-off. I'll just say that. This man right here, John Harvey Kellogg, was one of the biggest funders of those like different waves of genocide. That being said, Heinrich
Okay.
Himmler is one of the architects of the Holocaust.
I think no, he is the architect. In fact, I think this is my pick to win it all.
Really? Like,
Yes.
do you think he's worse than Hitler?
Yes. Bernie Madoff. Where have I heard this name before?
Was he like a Supreme Court justice? I don't remember.
He was.
exactly.
Oh, okay. He just stole a lot of money.
Okay, well, I think then
This
it's
is
O.J.
O.J. Simpson.
Weirdly enough, though,
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson probably isn't making it too far because he has Himmler in the next round. Yeah.
Oh, this
These
is
guys
actually
are
tough.
like the same people in different time periods.
Okay, wait, let me double check. I think Leopold is the one who had the Congo. Yeah, okay. He had the Congo as his like stupid little just backyard where he would
Yeah.
do all of his fucked up shit
This is
Uh,
true.
and got away with it.
And then Vladimir Putin is just like a dictator who ruined Russian democracy and is trying to do imperialism in
Killed
Ukraine.
my man navenly. But I think Leopold.
Me too.
Uh,
I think I
yeah,
would go
I
with
think-
Leopold here.
Opa! This guy, life expectancy in Cambodia, 17 years. This guy beats Nero. Nero did not burn Rome. He just killed his mom or whatever. All right, this guy, Pol Pot.
I don't know much about him. I'm gonna be honest. I'll let you take the
Pol
reins.
Pot was a communist dictator in Cambodia, and his direct. Well, let's see. The life expectancy of Cambodia at the time was 17 years. So he was in charge of Cambodian genocide. That leads to U.S. it leads to U.S. intervention. I know with Nixon with the Cambodian bombing, 1.5 to 2 million people died. A quarter of the country's population from not even just from killing them or from just from famine or anything. He starved them and while they were doing labor, he executed them. It was all a mess, and it was his fault. There's ways you can get around the hurdles of communism. This guy did not know how to do that.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is like, communism has a lot of misinformation attached to it. But it's like, if you're trying to achieve communism, the West is going to call you communist. And Pol Pot was a bad guy because he way over prioritized the interests of the state, the bureaucracy, similarly to how Stalin did, but like
Not even
times
just the
worse.
state, himself.
Yes, he
All
was
of those
extremely
people-
selfish.
All of those people died for him. Class aside, I've never even heard this word before. Look at this.
Yeah,
The religious
obviously, like,
genocides, everything.
when like people like him are the reason that Karl Marx was like included in this bracket. Obviously, Pol Pot is not what Marx had in mind, but you
Yeah.
can't deny that he was operating under some of the principles that Marx wrote. Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
ooh.
I think I've pictured these two fighting many years ago. Actually, I had a dream, and it was
Really?
of these two fighting, and it was very graphic. And I don't think I can talk about what happened. But obviously, it's bad to take advantage of stuff. But at the time, I wouldn't argue is the case with Iran anymore. But at the time of Ruhollah Khomeini, what was going on in Iran was a reactionary movement of the imperialist dogma of American intervention in Iran. Now I don't think that quite justifies what Khomeini does. The Iranian Revolution, it's a mess. But
Yeah.
there's at least he took advantage of a reactionary stance, but there's at least a framework where you can build a larger enemy, such as a larger villain, such as the U.S. at the time, that caused something like Khomeini to happen.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan.
He was literally one of the first Mongol leaders who had like 100 different wives. He basically like rode around, threatened people with swords and bows, and demanded that they give him money and killed them if they didn't.
I think Khan.
That's the best way I can describe Genghis Khan. However, Mongol history class, the day in my WAP class where we learned about Genghis Khan and the Mongols, everyone loves that class. I don't know why.
The Pope.
Yeah,
it's a homophobic conservative guy with power versus a homophobic lesbian.
Yeah,
like
Ellen DeGeneres is just a mean person. Pope Benedict is just like bad all around and caused a bunch of repression and indirect suicide. But honestly, he might not go very far. Just knowing who we have on this side of the bracket, he's not getting past Pol Pot, I'll tell you that. Okay, Ilse Koch. Let me tell you about Ilse Koch. Do you know anything about her?
I do not.
Okay, so she is probably the most fucked up in the head Nazi in human history.
Well, it says here she wasn't even a real Nazi. She just aligned with their ideals.
Well, yeah, but basically what she did was in the concentration camps, right? She was the architect of like using the gas chambers to torture people, and she was known for ripping off human skin, flaying people alive, and then sewing lampshades out of their skin with no regard for their pain or the fact that they had human lives. She is one of the worst people to ever live because she just didn't care about anything that was alive. She just saw everything as like an aesthetic, an object of her pleasure. And she ended up causing immense pain. What I will say is that she didn't have like too much political power. I believe she may have been like the wife of another powerful Nazi, but in terms of like psychologically how fucked up someone can be, I think she might be second to none on this list. The only reason she's not higher is because of like the lack of power, I guess.
I think the Unabomber wins this.
Mr. Truman.
Truman obviously orders the death of a lot more people, but there's at least a narrative, one which I don't agree with, but a narrative that it was done for a greater good, a utilitarian narrative.
Yeah, act utilitarianism, not the good kind.
What do you remember Kaczynski's reasoning behind everything?
No.
Acted out of radical ideological desire to destroy modern industrial society. You know.
Oh, so he was a Luddite, basically. A primitivist. Okay.
That's not too bad. I don't fully disagree with his ideologies, but he still killed a lot of people. So
yeah, I think we'll go the Unabomber. Okay, these are both
John Wayne
killers.
Gacy. I know about John Wayne Gacy. He was the clown. He would dress up as a clown and like go to the children's birthday parties and then like lure them to his house and then like through magic tricks would like restrain them and then do fucked up shit to them and kill them.
Oh yeah. No, okay. Jerry Sandusky, sorry, he was a football coach who raped his players.
Oh God. I think Gacy though. There's
This is the guy who you said was the worst member of the Hussein family.
This is the worst Iraqi to ever come out of Iraq. So he was the son of Saddam Hussein, and he was all over the place, man. He He killed his father's valet, like supposedly out of fear that he was going to succeed Saddam instead of him. He just would have public breakdowns that would end in him just literally killing people, and it didn't help. He killed his brothers. He raped every woman in sight. And then he was also in charge of the Iraqi soccer team, I believe. And he would just any bad performance led to terrible treatment, extremely graphic. Even Saddam himself was not a fan of this guy too much. I think this will. How far down the bracket are we?
We're at the last one.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll go far. Trust me, he's gonna go far.
I think he could. This is my other pick. If
also, Gary Ridgway, I don't really know who he is, but there's no way he's worse than Saddam Hussein. Okay, Donald Trump versus Jack the Ripper. So there's like with Trump, I think there's like at least the puppet argument, he's just a cog in like an evil
but he still knows
machine,
what he's
but he
doing.
knows what he's doing. However,
and
what I'm saying is Donald Trump.
I don't even know who Jack the Ripper is. Like,
I do actually. He was he was a British serial killer.
No, I mean we don't know who he is. We only have theories on his identity and why he did everything. And
well, the thing with Jack the Ripper is we probably know he acted off of his own accord. However, Trump is a war criminal and a pedophile, obviously. And
I think before. It depends on what really goes on. I think we need to see. Not that I really want to see, because that'd be disgusting. But we need to see what's really going on in the back before we can definitively say that Trump is worse than Jack the Ripper. It's possible he is, but I don't think we can.
So you're saying we moved Jack the Ripper on for that?
I don't know. This one's too hard. You choose.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go off the assumption that anything we know about how bad Trump is incomplete. I'm gonna go off the information that whatever happens back there is gonna be 10 times worse than we could ever imagine. That they're still hiding the worst of it. I think we can go Trump for that reason.
Okay.
This isn't close. This isn't close.
Yeah. Move.
Heinrich
Himmler.
This is Pol Pot, right?
Yeah.
It's not
I think Pol
too
Pot.
much of a conversation. It's like imperialist versus backwards dictator who killed people and starved them. All right.
This is Benedict. I'm not wrong to say this. Pope Benedict is the same as Ratzinger, right?
I think so. The thing is
Okay, I am right.
How is Pope Benedict how exactly evil is he? How much of the death how much of the indirect death do we want to attribute to him through the repression of trans and gay people and stuff? Was he actually racist or just super right-wing homophobic Catholic guy? Because I think if he's just that, we go Genghis Khan.
I think his actions have led and opened up a lot of room for bad things. But Genghis Khan did bad things.
Yeah, it's mostly I think in this bracket we kind of have to give the crown to whoever does we give the crown to the perpetrator over the architect most of the time, because everyone here except Marx, Fauci, and Ellen are actual monsters. So when we're differentiating between these guys, we just have to have some kind of consistent criteria. So I think we go Genghis Khan. Okay.
Koch.
I'm going Koch as well. She's
well,
old Hitler versus modern Hitler. The thing is, old Hitler already did all his violence. Modern Hitler is only just getting started.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh
okay.
God. Oh
So,
no.
Who did more in
This
the
is why
Holocaust?
I have. This is why I don't like this bracket. Well,
Which Nazi is worse?
Oh. Okay. Here's a story about Himmler. It's a kind of a brief one, a very brief one. When he went to Auschwitz, and looked through the window to see everyone getting gassed, he kind of just looked in, and he just kind of nodded his head like, "Yep, I like this," and then he moved on. What stories do you have about the Angel of Death?
Joseph Mengele?
Oh, he was one of the doctors, actually.
What do you mean? Like the guy who would like not treat the people in the concentration camps properly?
No, he was one of those. So like he was one of those. Kind of like that. Who was that other doctor from earlier? Where he would just.
Oh yeah, I remembered some of it.
He's
now.
like that, but he's a Nazi, and he did the he
Holocaust.
selected people to be. He selected who.
He experimented on the people in the concentration camps.
And so he had all of these. He had all of these, like also crazy anthropological theories. I'm looking at, like, and that's like how. So like it'd be that those eugenicist arguments. This person is more proper fit than this person. And therefore the less fit. Like he would choose who to gas. But Heinrich Himmler, they call him the architect for a reason. I don't know. This really is a tough.
I mean, they're both monsters. I feel like I said, for Genghis Khan versus Pope Benedict, we had the principle of like we're going to give the crown to the perpetrator.
Well, no.
Architect.
Well,
Here,
Himmler is a straight up perpetrator.
Yeah, but the
both.
architect is also the perpetrator.
I think with Mengele, here's why I'm going to say Himmler.
Okay.
Mengele at least has some kind, a wrong one, but at least some kind of anthropological theory, or reasoning of why he's doing what he does. Himmler, again, does a lot of this stuff for himself, but just no remorse for anybody, really. When Hitler was in the bunkers, when Berlin was falling, before Hitler had even died, Himmler announced, "Yeah, Hitler's dead. I'm the leader now, guys." And then they had to release a statement saying, "What are you talking about, guy?" He's much. I think Himmler is probably much more egotistical than Mengele. I think
if we have to have a tiebreaker, sure, we can give it to the egomaniac Nazi over the scientific, in air quotes, Nazi.
Yeah.
I think Genghis Khan's run is over.
Yeah. No, Pol Pot is the modern Genghis Khan.
Okay,
Now.
so why do you think Hussein should win? Because my argument for Koch in this situation would just be like the amount of fucked up in the head you have to be to eat children and have like multiple pieces of furniture made of human skin is just insane. I don't know if Uday Hussein ever had anything like that, but he was more powerful than Koch.
He barely, like, even Saddam was fucking terrified of this guy. But here's the thing with Uday. While he is completely just erratic, he had a goal. Again, there's extreme narcissism with Hussein. That narcissism leads to that erratic behavior, whereas I don't really see that in Koch.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, she also was the direct commander of a bunch of concentration camps. So it's not like she had no influence. I think these are similar.
Well,
people.
Uday was also the top official of a concentration camp. It was called the Iraq Football Association.
I mean, that's fair. I guess for Uday, we can say the egotistical thing wins out, whereas Koch is just completely insane.
Yeah.
The
Whereas
heavyweight
she's
matchup
just
of the
insane.
century.
So, okay, I think Himmler wins this one because
Because Hitler was more direct.
it's like I could have
He had
sworn
more
also.
power,
I think
though.
I thought on this list was also it's like if we had Osama bin Laden versus what's his name, Abdul Sheikh Mohammed, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. It's like I think like if that, which who I thought was on this list, but I guess he's not. It's if we had to compare like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the architect of 9/11, versus Osama bin Laden, the guy who just asked for 9/11, I would say Khalid Sheikh Mohammed because he's the one saying this is how we're gonna kill everybody, man, and it's gonna be awesome. And Himmler is kind of the same way. Himmler is much more knowledgeable about what's going on.
And Hitler, are you saying like he's more of a figurehead?
Kind of. Hitler also, at the very least, has some kind of national what's it called? Like he has some pride, at least. At the very least.
I mean,
Himmler has none.
I guess he committed suicide, so you could also argue
Himmler
he
also
felt
committed
remorse.
suicide. No, he didn't. They both committed suicide, but neither of them felt
Really?
remorse. It was,
Okay.
but they both, they both committed suicide because they felt fear of what was going to happen. And Himmler eventually felt fear from all sides because he kind of betrayed the Nazi Party in announcing Hitler was dead before he even did so. But I think that's kind of besides the point. But nevertheless, I think Himmler.
I guess he moves on. And now we get another heavyweight matchup. I feel like, okay, so Uday Hussein obviously was like a monster, but I don't think that his influence reached the scale that Pol Pot did. Like,
yeah, but
Pol Pot influenced an entire country. Uday Hussein influenced a soccer team.
Yeah, well, Uday Hussein had the goal of influencing the country.
Yeah, so I guess like, are we basing this off of like psychology or literal impact? Because the thing is,
so
guess,
which
like,
do we go with?
When it comes down to it, we're talking about the ultimate IRL villain tournament, and for villains, a lot of what is discussed is how are the villains themselves motivated. Who do you think, had they like fully achieved their goals, who would have had a worse impact? You think it's Uday?
I think Pol Pot didn't intend to kill as many people as he did,
but he did.
But he did. Yeah, Uday, with every person he killed with his bare hands, mind you, was with a similar goal that Pol Pot would have. I
think we can go with Uday.
I would have, if you weren't here, I would have had to flip a coin, I think. But
yeah, I mean, like, it's literally just, do you want to go with like the person who is more evil, or
I think we go with Uday.
Yeah, I agree. But I think Uday's gone now.
And I think so too.
Yeah, because this is like the same argument Pol Pot had, except
in my
Himmler was
knew
fucked
this
up in the
matchup was eventually going to happen. But
you did.
I think Himmler is the.
Let's explain to the viewers like exactly why we're doing this, because both of these people were monsters. They were sick in the head. They killed multiple people, and had they gotten the chance, probably would have put the world into a regressive dictatorship where barbarism reigns. Why are we picking the Nazi over the football club terrorist?
It may seem, I think, hypocritical to push Himmler like in front of him as worse, and not Pol Pot. But again, I don't. With a lot of those deaths in Cambodia, those are completely to ill handling, ill handling and not all completely intentional. Not that he
So
cared, but
it was negligence more so
yes,
than malicious intent.
for I wouldn't say for all of them at all, but there's still a
Yeah.
lot of persecution.
Oh yeah.
But and he still didn't care. But with Himmler, everything to the last minute detail is completely intentional. And the same goes for Uday, but Uday is they're both very similar in that they're egotistical. I don't think Himmler ever, I don't think Himmler even made it into the military during World War One. So I don't think Himmler has killed anyone with his bare hands, with like himself. Everything is done by his order. But with the scale and the knowledge and having seen up front the damage that he is doing, I think that beats out the erratic behavior of Uday Hussein.
All right. And now we have the finals.
Liking it.
Hideki Tojo versus Heinrich Himmler. This is so hard.
The
They're
two puppets.
almost the same person. It feels
Yeah.
like.
One
It's
is
just
one
one
is
of them's
Japanese, one is
Japanese.
I'm not putting up an argument right now. I'm like just trying to build up a framework to better visualize this. Tojo was in charge of war. So everything he does is on the battlefield. Everything Himmler does is much more behind the scenes.
So, I guess like was Himmler also like a serial rapist?
I don't think so. A lot of those top Nazis were like actually surprisingly not like ill-behaved. Like it's really just through administration that they're really just dog shit. Obviously, people like Hitler like would lose their temper and like there's ill behavior there, but
So I guess like the tiebreaker for me here is just that
rape.
yes, it is the rape of
Okay.
Nanking, I think, is the tiebreaker because both of these people were the architects of mass destruction and ethnic cleansing. Both of these people knowingly executed ethnic groups because they wanted to take like one race in power. Like Tojo was a Japanese nationalist and Himmler was a white nationalist. The only reason I say that I would argue for Tojo here is because not only did he order ethnic cleansing, he also for months tortured, raped, and killed Chinese women and children for his own pleasure.
Yes. And I would like to take back what I said earlier about him, everything he did being in the war scene, because I just found out now that he was also prime minister. So there's definitely a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes. I think I can get behind your argument.
All right.
Gemini disagrees, but
Really? What does Gemini say? I'm curious.
Gemini says Heinrich Himmler is generally considered worse due to his central role in industrializing genocide. So everything Tojo and it does. Well, what about like the Manchurian genocide? I feel like he definitely Tojo in the Manchurian genocide.
We're going band for band, genocide for genocide here. This is what the finals are all about.
So yeah, I feel like he's also responsible for industrializing it because his army, like, what's this? 3-all policy. Under his guidance, the Japanese army implemented the kill all, burn all, loot all policy. We have our winner, folks.
All right. I honestly never want to do a bracket like this again.
Me neither. That was
This was
an
so
hour
bad.
of 30 minutes. Next, we'll discuss the best people ever, and the
Yeah.
winner will be, I don't even know. Me.
Well, you said you would be on this list if given the chance, so I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm
You
not.
like to glaze Calvin Coolidge. Maybe it would be him.
You're right. Yeah.
All right. Well,
The only
thanks
reason he
for
wouldn't win
watching.
is because he did not fulfill the prophecy of becoming God.